Adedayo Bakare, thanks a great deal for joining us here in the stock market, actually, which is where all of the securities that Bosin has just described actually trade. So lately we've been seeing, as opposed to what we used to see historically, we by now would have seen a lot of earnings coming into the market. We'll see the market share prices rising due to traders buying on a lot of these securities that would have released their results. But what exactly would you say is happening now? From the banking side of things, I'm not sure up to 5 banks have actually released their earnings, or maybe just 5 so far, out of a whole lot of them that we have listed here.
Absolutely. Earnings releases seems to be delayed a bit for the full year 2018 results. For banks, like you mentioned, we have just about 5 banks that have published. That's tier 1 names such as GTB, you have UBA, you have Axis Bank, and you have Zenith Bank.
Yeah.
And tier 2 names, we only have Stanbic. That's published results, so there are a whole lot of banks that are yet to publish. This holds true for other segments of the market. If you look at the insurance market, insurance sector, the consumer goods sector, for instance, I think only just about 1 or 2 names have listed in the insurance sector. In the consumer goods sector, the big names we've seen is Nigerian Breweries and also Nestle. So for so many of players in the, say, personal care segment, for instance, we've not seen the full year 2018 results. Now, there's no definitive reason. One can say, a lot of activities in the first quarter around, the elections and everything could have hampered, 1 or 2 processes, that needs to be done to publish those results. And but of course, given the trends we've seen in the past, we have some suspicions. One of that is the fact that audits, for instance, companies are required to, they're mandated to publish audited accounts, full year accounts. So if they have, any kind of issue or delay around their audits, then you expect their results to be delayed. However, we must note that they still have 90 days ending, the 31st of March to publish these results. So towards the end of March, we should see, more results come in. For companies who will delay beyond the March 31st deadline, then they should send notice to the exchange.
So you are really not of the view that the election was part of the reasons why some of these companies are deliberately delaying the announcement of their earnings?
Well, we can't say it's deliberate because a lot of activities happened, and even in companies and businesses were affected. The postponement of the elections and all those issues are surrounding it. So that could be a part. Now, audits, procedures could be a part. If there's slow conclusion of audits, that could be a reason. There are also some industries, banking especially, and banking and insurance, very regulated sectors. So companies here are required to send, the results to the regulator, primary regulator, NICOM for insurance business, CBN for the banking business. So if there's a bit of a delay around with these regulators, it will also affect, publishing of the results. There's also the case that the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, for instance, for audits where audits have been concluded and the auditors have issued an opinion and the opinion is qualified, maybe there are issues around the financial statements, then FRCN, the results has to go to FRCN, and it is when they are done with checking the results and checking the books that you have them published on the exchange. So there are various reasons that could have led to the delay in results, but we are waiting till at least the final week in March before we really know the issues.
Okay, well, it's good to know that at least the food giants don't have to actually report to NAFDAC first. So, of course, because that is their primary regulator, one way or the other. But moving on, we've seen so much of delayed filings as well, especially in the insurance segment of the markets. Do you think the whole tier-based recapitalization exercise that was meant to happen sometimes last year could actually be a factor to this delay as well?
Well, I don't think so, because when the when I think NICOM released that, there was a lot of contention around it, around the new tier-based capitalization for insurance business, and I think it was delayed up to a point for most of the year. So really there has been no, progress on that front. So we do not expect that had any, kind of material impact on whether they should publish the results
Then what
early
could be the cost?
or now. Like I mentioned before, insurance is also one where, they have to send their reports to NICOM. So in a case where they've sent the reports to NICOM and NICOM has not attended to the results on time, or has not published or has not done its review on time, then that could be responsible for the delay. Because if you see from what we've seen, I think only just about one name or two names have published in the insurance sector. So that means it's something that is general to that sector. So it's plausible that it's coming from the regulator.
From the immediate regulator.
Yeah.
After all, some of them actually still have representatives from NICOM on their boards. And talk about the likes of Gold Link Insurance. But then moving on, you talked about the 90 days post Q1, but then we're also supposed to have expectations in terms of results for Q1 from these companies. Don't you see that putting so much of pressure on these companies and the audit side of things for them?
Yes, absolutely. But the good thing about Q1 results is they're not going to audit Q1 results.
Okay.
So they audit, just the half-year reports. That's ending
H1,
June,
H2.
then H2. So the good thing for them is once they resolve, all the issues around maybe filing of the annual report is concluded, then for Q1 they can publish that even faster because they don't need to audit those accounts.
So quite a number of dividends have been paid and or have been proposed, yet to be declared at AGM, except that of Zenith Bank, which I think was the first AGM so far this year. Access Bank actually had EGM, an extraordinary general meeting, in view of the merger and acquisition with Diamond Bank. But so that's just 25 kobo being paid. How disappointing was that for investors, especially for those of you who are fund managers?
For Access Bank?
Exactly.
Okay, for Access Bank, it was, obviously a lot of people have had concerns, regarding the merger. So basically, the concerns has been around, with all the troubles, Diamond Bank has, a very large loan book, which is not performing. I think towards the end of the year, we had about 40% of the loan book was not performing, and that means if you are acquiring such a bank, that means you need to clean the books, and you'll be spending a lot of money to do that. So we think that was what actually influenced the decision to pay the dividend that was poor compared to what we had in the previous years, because they will need to commit a lot of capital to cleaning the books and to take benefits from the merger with Diamond Bank. Now, the good thing about it is by April we should have clarity on the statements, the combined statements of both entities. So through that lens, we can be able to understand how the company will progress going forward. But currently, they are going to need a lot of capital, so it really doesn't make any sense for them to pay out a lot of dividends. That said, the published reports for full year 2018 was outstanding. Gross earnings expanded by double digits, interest income expanded by double digits. I have a very strong growth in ROE, in profitability and ROE. So the current state of things is good, but the worry is that post-merger, what will be the value, being given to shareholders, and that is the main concern for us.
Okay, of course, there are different concerns around the different factors responsible for a whole lot of the dividends that have been proposed and declared. You see some companies actually proposing, and yet you have a lot of investors still selling down, or basically reducing their holdings in a lot of these companies. Well, Adedayo Bakare, thanks a great deal for your insight on all of these dividends and, of course, filings of a lot of the companies, even though some of them are delayed. Thanks a great deal for your